Hey everyone, thanks for checking out part 2 of my origins and bio for Saint Walker. Before we get started, I do want to talk a little bit about why I picked this character. I didn't have a lot of choices or particularly strong candidates out of the Blue Lantern Corps. Aside from Saint Walker, not a lot of characters had been developed, and my only other real choice that I strongly considered was talking about Barry Allen's time as a Blue Lantern. But that time was very limited, and instead I thought it'd be more interesting to talk about Saint Walker. Some people are more down on this character than I personally feel. While there are limits to him, looking over his origins featured in part 1 of this video, as well as a lot of content in part 2, I found there's a lot to like about Saint Walker, specifically his relationship with other characters in Green Lantern lore and history. His relationship with and time spent with the New Guardians is a very interesting moment for this character and led to a lot of interesting development between him and Arkillo or him and Kyle Rayner. I also really like the relationship that's developed between him and Mogo as well as Hal Jordan. So Saint Walker's a pretty fun character, and if you'd like to know more about him, you can check out my recommended reading list for parts 1 and 2 of this video, both of which are featured in their respective video descriptions. Also, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you can check out all the latest videos we have about various comic book characters and history and whatever other topic we can think of. Finally, if you like this video and would like to see more content from us in the future, be sure to check out our Patreon page in the video description. Thanks again for watching, and enjoy the rest of my origins and bio on Saint Walker. Sometime later, a Blue Lantern ring mysteriously traveled to Earth to seek out Kyle Rayner, with a ring from every other Lantern Corps at the same time. Saint Walker and representatives from every other Corps followed these rings to investigate. After initially battling one another, with Walker the only member of the Gathered Lanterns willing to defend Kyle, they all wound up on Oa, home of the Green Lanterns, looking for more answers. Now changed, increasingly aggressive and cruel, the Guardians considered Walker and the others a threat, and attacked immediately. The group was only saved by their fleas, who unexpectedly intervened on the condition that this group, dubbed the New Guardians, worked together to help Agent Orange against an angel-like being called Invictus. Saint Walker was a vital part in keeping this new team, called the New Guardians, together as a cohesive unit, given the wide variety of organizations each member came from. By healing the Yellow Lantern named Arkillo's tongue early on in the team's history, he formed a close bond with the otherwise aggressive alien that continues to this day, while Saint Walker and Kyle Rayner became particularly close friends. When the Blue Lanterns were attacked and nearly overrun by a powerful alien army called the Reach, Saint Walker was able to rely on the New Guardians to defend his home and ensure the survival of the Blue Lantern Corps. They were able to save most of the Blue Lanterns, but were forced to yield the planet Odem and their central power battery. When the New Guardians confronted their fleas about this, with Walker erroneously convinced that Agent Orange had something to do with the Reach's attack, Larfleeze lashed out and attacked the team. It was then that Invictus attacked Larfleeze's home, and the group was forced to ally themselves with Agent Orange to defeat the unstable Angel. The team broke up immediately after this, after Sade revealed she had tricked the New Guardians into forming a team together, after she detected the other Guardians forcibly stripping Ganthet of his emotions. Nevertheless, Walker rejoined the next iteration of the team to help Kyle Rayner become a White Lantern so that they might defeat the corrupted Guardians once and for all, as well as a powerful being the Guardians accidentally unleashed called Volthoom, the First Lantern. Initially, Walker helped out with recruitment, failing to do so on a mission with the others when working with a Green Lantern named Jediah Call. In the ensuing conflict with Volthoom, Saint Walker was captured and tempted with an illusion where the alien had become a Green Lantern, though the First Lantern underestimated Walker's capacity for hope. Sade and Ganthet were spared the violent death that ultimately befell the other Guardians at the end of this war, and the Blue Lanterns relocated to a new planet called Elpis. Following the battle against the Guardians and Volthoom, Saint Walker was instrumental in stopping Larfleeze from taking advantage of the chaos when he invaded the Green Lantern homeworld of Oa. Later, Walker would also work with a Green Lantern named Guy Gardner in bringing in a criminal freed by the Guardians before their fall. It was believed at the time from here Walker would have fallen in love and led the Blue Lanterns towards swelling their numbers and operations on a scale at the same level of the Green Lanterns themselves. Sadly, this was not destined to be. A being called Relic managed to arrive shortly after the fall of the Guardians. Relic believed that the Lantern Corps created an early death in the universe and sought to destroy all who wielded such light. The Blue Lanterns were among Relic's first targets, and they were all but completely destroyed, with only St. Walker surviving. The Blue Lantern was left badly injured, only saved by Kyle. He was given refuge on the Green Lantern's new home, the sentient planet called Mogo. This massive celestial being offered St. Walker comfort, but at first, the alien couldn't help but fall into a depression. Walker's ring became inactive because of this, as his hope had finally, and perhaps the first time in the alien's life, truly wavered. He was unwilling and unable to help the Green Lanterns defend space or help the innocent. St. Walker began a long road towards recovery on Mogo, with the sentient planet offering the Blue Lantern guidance along the way, while a chance encounter with Hal Jordan's family seemed to truly begin to improve his mood. The Blue Lantern ring was later stolen by a being called Metron, who was working with his fellow New Gods to use the lantern rings of the entire emotional spectrum for themselves. It was later recovered, and after Walker witnessed Kyle Rayner use his White Lantern powers on the home of the New Gods called New Genesis, he became inspired by the man's heroism, took his recovered blue ring, and became a true lantern once again. The Green Lanterns managed to defeat the New Gods, but as a consequence of their victory, they suddenly disappeared from the universe shortly after this. St. Walker was left alone and later captured by a bounty hunter named Lobo, who brought him to Sinestro. This alien, master of the Yellow Lantern Corps, wielders of fear, wished to use St. Walker as a power boost the same way the Blue Lantern could empower Green Lanterns. Though Walker believed this was impossible, a determined Sinestro turned the alien over to his science division, who, after brutally torturing and experimenting on the Blue Lantern, were able to achieve their goal, and St. Walker was augmented to strengthen Yellow Lanterns around him. They first tested this on the fields of battle, when a cult called the Paling invaded Earth. St. Walker worked with the Yellow Lanterns to repel this invasion, and after the Sinestro Corps emerged victorious, the Blue Lantern was reunited with his old friend Arkillo. The Yellow Lantern apologized for being unable to protect Walker from the brutal treatment experienced in the custody of the Sinestro Corps, but the Blue Lantern was quick to forgive his fellow New Guardian, as the whole experience gave him a new perspective on the powers of fear and the complicated relationship it has with hope. When Arkillo was named the Sinestro Corps' new protector of Earth, St. Walker volunteered to work with him, and was begrudgingly given the freedom to do so in spite of the power he now offered to the Yellow Lanterns. For a time, St. Walker and Arkillo worked as a team to fight villains and protect the human race, until Arkillo was later recalled home. Walker began to wander space, once again alone, seeking out hope anywhere he could find it in the universe. It was only some time later that Kyle Rayner and Hal Jordan reunited with their old friend, saving him from a giant hostile entity called the Misery Mound. They worked together to defeat this being, with Walker proving instrumental in doing so, and together they returned to Mogo, as the Green Lanterns by then had long returned to this universe in force, and wanted to work with St. Walker to resurrect the Blue Lantern Corps at the personal request of Ganthet and Sade. Walker eagerly accepted this idea, very much wanting to see the return of his old Lantern Corps, so Ganthet, Sade, and Kyle attempted to perform a ritual, tapping into and linking the energies of Kyle and Walker, in the hopes of bringing the Blue Lanterns back to full life. During the ritual, which appeared to be working, an unknown force, one believed to have been meddling in the fundamental nature of the universe and its history, prevented this ritual from succeeding, much to the disappointment of the gathered group. Worse still, it actually cost them, and Kyle Rayner lost his unique role as a White Lantern. Shocked at this outcome and certain nothing in this universe should have been able to prevent the resurrection of the Blue Lanterns, Ganthet and Sade apologized to Walker. However, they remained unwavering in their conviction that the universe needed the power and nature of the Blue Lanterns now, more than ever. The two tasked Walker with finding hope in the universe in any form, and to recruit anyone he can to their side. St. Walker has not emerged since then, but if there is one thing that is known, it is that he continues to believe in the unwavering conviction that all will be well.